Welcome to a new Anno 1800 episode, where once again I'm going to provide you with some perfect layout and stamps. Today we're talking about the sub production. The sub production which also requires tallows and pigs, right? So we're gonna cover all of this into this episode. If you've missed some of the previous episodes, don't hesitate to check in the video description below. You can see the full playlist where each episode, as I said, is covering a specific resource. Also in the video description below, you can find the link to join for free, of course, my Discord community, because in this Discord community, I share all of those stamps for free. You can download them so you can use them in your game. And actually this first stamp, you may have already seen it in the previous episode because this is a stamp that is mixed. This is a stamp that's providing a production of both sausage and soap at the same time, all in one layout, two of each, with also a fire station and a warehouse in the middle. So perfect rectangle, as you can see. Love it. Pretty simple. We have actually how many? 4 of these pig farms. We have 2 of those slaughterhouse over here. We have the sub factory and the rendering works. So also very few roads, as you can see, pretty optimized, easy to copy, to duplicate, next to each other, for example. Magnificent. That's already a way bigger production. So that's easy for your early game. Of course, with that, you're producing a lot more soap than what you probably need. In the early game, you never need as much soap as sausage, but it's fine because remember, soap can be sold for a lot of money. But now let's move on to the sort of basic dedicated soap factory. You can see this is this one over here. Now, this is not a perfect layout in the sense that you don't have a fire station, don't have a police station, and even if you were to put these over here, right, this wouldn't work for these guys over there because there's the warehouse in the middle, there's not a road. So while these buildings will be working because the warehouse acts as a road to your main trading post, it doesn't let the firemen go through. So this is not perfect for sure, but it is perfect in the sense that it's a rectangle that is super optimized, right? There's very few roads, as you can see, and you do have the right equilibrium of 2 pigs farm, 2 rendering works for 1 sub factory. So with this, you're producing 2 subs per minute in a very, very compact layout. Now, if you do want the services, it's gonna need to be slightly bigger, but as you can see, not so much bigger. We're talking about a couple more tiles. So same production, we have 1 sub factory, 2 rendering works next to it, and 2 of the pig farms. There's also a small empty space over here, but we do have the fire station and the police station. So still very basic, right? We don't have silos or anything like this, but for your early game, you could go with either this first or second one. But if you're making soap, you probably already have actually access to quite a bit of bricks and things like this, so you may want to put a silo, right? And so here is my proposed layout, pretty optimized, that has actually access to silos, but also has the police station and the fire station all in one block, including the grain farm. This is in the same block with the 144 perfect, in this rectangle. There is a main road over here, goes on this side and goes all the way over here. We have actually a way bigger production also in this one, right? We're talking about now 8 of soap per minute with a perfect, tallow production 8 to 8, and a slight overproduction of pigs that is supported by a perfect production of grain. So it is, ladies and gents, another of these cool rectangle where everything is integrated. It does take me quite a bit of time to find a way to make this all work, so don't hesitate to share a bit of love, smash the like button, share a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts, in particular what next you want to see. But without further ado, let's move to the more advanced one. And first, as always, is a mixed trade union layout. Again, in a rectangle. I know I'm a bit boring this way, but I really think this is what many of you are actually looking for. We have everything in this rectangle. We have the trade union covering, all of the buildings in terms of the sub factory, the rendering works, and the pig farm. The only things that are not covered by the trade union but are still inside the block are the grain farms over here. We have one on this side, one on that side. You don't really have to have them, right? If you want to delete them, then it's fine. You delete them, then it's not a perfect rectangle, all right? But with this, we could be producing everything, We are producing 16 without any of the items or working condition or things like this. We have a perfect production of tallow, but obviously that could also change if you use items. And then we are way overproducing on the pigs, which is why probably, what I suggest if you're using this layout is use items that are going to boost more your sub-factories and rendering works rather than the pig production, which is already, quite high. And then you may see that indeed we are not producing enough in terms of wheat, but do remember that we are producing way too much pigs. So this would be fine even if you leave it like this. And on top of this, I think if you're doing something like this, you probably can just increase a bit the working condition on the wheat and then you'll be fine. So yes, if you don't have a lot of influence and you have to be a bit sneaky with your trade union instead of having dedicated trade union, you can do this one that has everything in one. But then at some point, if you really want to go this way, if you're min-maxing, you'll have dedicated trade unions. In the last episode, I already showed you this layout for a dedicated trade union stamp for the pig production, right? We have all of this pig production over here covered by this trade union, but now we also have a dedicated in the sense that it's only SOP and rendering works. We don't have the pigs here. You could go even further and have one just for the SOP, another one just for the rendering works, but I felt was going a bit too far because you probably really never will need that. But with this one that I'm just showing over here, you're gonna be producing 34 of SOP without any items, etc. Enough rendering works and tons of pigs, of course. So it is, ladies and gentlemen, I know it was a slightly shorter episode, but if you have any questions or thoughts, of course, don't hesitate to share in the comments below or in my Discord community. And I hope to see you soon for the next episode.